it up against HellRaisers.
Well, I hope we do see some of the confidence that I'm sure getting signed to a roster like Cloud9 brings you, because he is a very talented player. I feel like we've been singing his praises for a long time. And it's an opportunity now, sort of his twilight years, you want to say, of GamerLegion, to really step up, put a couple of big numbers out there, show the world what you can do before the pressure of Cloud9 really starts to become a thing. And, well, we're back on train. Era with a nice quick one-tap to open things up. JLam already removed from the round, and it looks like HellRaisers, they're grouping for a split onto this A-bomb site. You've got Bomb and Problem as well out towards Ivy. Just a couple of players, one posted up, Flarich and Olaf, but he's going to walk right into the crosshairs. That's an absolute freebie for Era. Adam gets himself a third, and, well, this crossfire is perfect to deal with the last two. Kalinka does a good job of dealing with one, and this player in Ivy, Mezzi's got to hit his shots, can't quite find it. Kalinka gets the second, and suddenly there's a chance here.
Yeah, the flying P250 proves to be somewhat troublesome. Oboe stickers all over this P250 as well, so it's an interesting kind of game in that sense. Kalinka as well, channeling the stickers, I suppose, as he finds himself a quick tap for the third. Absolutely brilliant stuff to bring it back to the 2-on-2. The CTs as well, split across the map. This is going to be a really difficult retake for them, I think. One coming in from heaven, however, Rusty able to drop Kalinka and switches up to drop Problem as well. Fantastic stuff from him. Individual performances all around in this first opener, but GamerLegion coming away with it in the end. Errors, opening 2K makes all the difference.
Yeah, it's HR, they needed a second player alive there. Like, you've got two, you need the third man to really give you the possibility of winning that one. There was too many 1v1s. Kalinka did a fantastic job of making it even viable, bringing it back down into the 2-on-2, but Rusty's looking crisp, and we said it time and time again about GamerLegion. They are a very puggy side, and, well, if you're a puggy side, your individuals are always going to have pretty nice aim. We saw it there from a couple. Era and Rusty putting up some nice openers, and luckily for us, we've got a force buy coming out from HellRaisers. T-side going to be picking up a couple of AKs, Galils, a scout for JR as well. It has left them very slim in the utility department, though. Just the one smoke and a couple of flashbangs to really get into this. And, of course, GamerLegion looking to farm a little bit of cash. Mezzi and Era both picking up those MP9s. Problem. That's a beautiful pick, and he's going to cause a huge issue here. Rusty wanted to fast flank. He's gone as well. And it's just Era on this bomb site. Just the MP9. So close to getting his second. But now 4-on-2, and they're reading it beautifully. Zero's found a lovely dink onto JR. But without that frag, he really can't rotate back down.
This is the super tough scenario that we talk about all the time. Zero's able to find that frag. Let's give them a bit more of a chance into the round. But yeah, the arguably stronger buy from the T side, right? And I think they play it perfectly, get the rifles out, and then just brute force their way in off the back of that, rather than some super well thought out deep execute. Mezzi's crept in above here via cloud onto the catwalk. Hasn't spotted this player on his right. Ooh, does spot this first one. Second comes easy, and now into the one-on-one. Trades across to a Galil. Flarich is going to come jumping down the ramp, but doesn't quite commit to it. Mezzi needs to find this frag, and fast. Cannot get it done. A desperate attempt was required. Comes down to 6 HP being the difference, but ultimately HellRaisers win the force buy.
It is a very awkward buy for a CT side now. That second round where the force comes in, you always feel like, despite winning, they're struggling in firepower, and as a result, they end up force buying their own, and it's not as pretty as the T sides. There's no automatic rifles. They've managed to skim 2 scouts onto Mezzi and Era. It's Deagles for the rest of the team, so it really does get very awkward very quickly for CT sides, this battle of the force buys, but we'll have to see what they can do with it. Early nade onto Mezzi, just going to chip away a little bit of health, nothing too significant. And for the CT side, pretty heavily stacked over towards this A-bomb site. At least initially 4 players lurking around. And HellRaisers, with 4 out towards Ivy, almost feeding the beast a little bit. They're allowing the rotations to come in. You can see Zero looking to lock himself out on the back lanes. Era holding close, forced off by the Molotov. And it's fairly choreographed, at least for HR, giving GamerLegion a little bit more time to potentially anticipate this. Era close on the angle. Zero playing inside of that smoke. That's going to be refreshed as well to give him a little more room to work around. Molotov behind it to force him through. And here comes the execute through Ivy, looking to wrap onto this A-bomb site. There's plenty of presence here for GamerLegion. They're going to need to hit some quick shots. Zero trades 1 for 1. Mezzi finds himself a scout flick as the trades do come through onto his teammates, but it's a little too late. Adam, He's left in the 1v3 after 2 quick shots from JR and Kalinka, and well, he might catch himself some kind of a timing. He's managed to make his way towards Brown Train and starting to creep up the second lane, but okay, Problem's not going to see him. He's managed to make his way into Sandwich now as well, so a pretty advanced position, and with Bomb not yet down, 25 seconds left on the clock, potentially he can cause some havoc.
He really could, actually. Oh, there's the first. Spots Kalinka, playing it patiently. Player above him, he doesn't spot him. Unfortunate for Adam. I guess the aspect ratio making a difference there for sure. HellRaisers, although I think they probably would have found it in the end. Still dropping another player there, it ends up being costly, that all-important 3 players surviving that we talk about so very often. So all good in the end from HellRaisers. Meanwhile, GamerLegion going to have to eco things out. It's a very tough scenario to be in when you win the pistol, lose the subsequent rounds. Your money is just, well, in the bin, to be frank. Oh, so blind in Ivy here. The Mac 10 only able to find 2 there, despite them being so blind. It's not a terrible weapon to give away, and of course, all the information is traded back. Zero could find himself a bonus $600, though, if they play it right here. Not going to happen. Well done by Flarich to back up his teammate. And no real damage taken once again by HellRaisers. So a really nice early cushion for them to work with on this T side. Meanwhile, GamerLegion, important buy with no cash left. You know, it's a tough scenario into this first rifle round.
Yeah, and without the AWP in the hands of Era as well, it's going to get worse and worse. No scoped rifles available. JR going to look to take advantage of that, I am sure. And for the T side, as you said, nice buffer built up initially. The buy here is better than the CT side have managed to scramble out, so a huge opportunity for them to just keep extending this lead. Rusty, though, he's going to post himself up in towards drop. The 4-man stack on A for JM. He's just caught himself a freebie. Zero taken down initially. The swing from Rusty to back his teammate up wasn't quick enough. Adam able to anchor down B for the refrag, though. That does somewhat funnel HR into the stack. Still 3 CT players over on this A-bomb site. JR's shoulder spotted out as well. Rusty has all the information he could possibly need. He just needs the firepower to back it up. JR caught on the off angle. Beautifully played by Era. Is traded out. And 3-on-3. They're still pretty heavily committed to this A-bomb site.
This is the Counter-Strike that HellRaisers really loves to play. Solid fundamentals, moving in together, and winning out the trades in the end. They're yet to do so. Mezzy just about survives, unsure where the second player is, and opting to play things safe. That allows for an easy bomb plant here for the remaining 2 HellRaisers players. Adam, meanwhile, has crept in behind, just around the smoke. Oh my goodness, the timings across the board here are perfect for Adam. Really well done to find that frag. I think going to make all the difference. Jalen as well has been spotted maybe in Sandwich, though. Ooh, nearly finds both. He was set up for the second. Not going to be the case in the end. GamerLegion picking up that all-important first proper rifle round that we've seen. First proper gun round. Full buy, however you want to phrase it. GamerLegion will take it. And it's Adam coming in with the 3K.
Still slightly frightened about this buy, looking at the cash they've got. Despite winning it, just the 1 man left. Adam, as you said, getting himself the triple kill to clutch it out, but it's not pretty. There's a misbought FAMAS on the floor. Rusty does have an MP9 in his hand, so yep, he's going to look to upgrade as well, but utility, none on Era. No defuse kit picked up yet, and they don't actually have enough money to pick up a defuse kit on anyone, so looking for the full 10 seconds if it comes down to the afterplant. And as you said, HR, they built themselves up a nice little bank initially, so they're going to have everything they could ever want for Christmas. The AWP, 4 AKs, 4 util behind it as well. So, well, we talk a lot about CT economy and how it's a little bit brutal at the moment relative to previous iterations of the game, and this really is your demonstration of it at the moment. It's an awkward buy for the CT side, despite the round going their way. And HellRaisers, off the back of that pistol round, the 3-0, the nice swing they've managed to get going, they're going to be buying much more strongly into round number 6.
Well, time taken. As we'll see how this one pans out. Beautiful stuff from JR. Patience pays off. Era peeking into him, leaving Adam by himself, who's caught quick switching back. He does well to get one, honestly. The timing was heavily against him. I think with that, and the buy they have, it's going to be so hard to come back from. JR on the AWP is making all the difference. The slight change from HellRaisers pays absolute dividends. Rusty and Mezzy probably looking to save, in all honesty. They are indeed. So just like that, HellRaisers straight back on the board, crushing the economy of the opposite side, and will more likely than not start edging even further ahead. I think they're in a very good position to solidify their lead and get off to a great start on the T side. Very, very similar to our previous train. GamerLegion going to have their work cut out. The economy from the get-go, like you've mentioned, in a terrible spot. And it is kind of the 6th enemy, it feels like, right? You've got 5 terrorists in contend with, and then the money that is just not working for you at all.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm getting flashbacks to Whistler Pact, and it really, really is. I think a lot of people point to Mirage as the one map where that CT economy really shows itself most, but these games on Train have just been horrific. I mean, the fact that a CT side, you know, they win their rounds, they're scrambling to get 3 FAMAS, an M4, and an AWP out, and then a T side who lost the pistol, won the force buy, got a couple more off the bat of that, then can buy, after a loss, an AWP, full rifles, despite all 5 players going down, full util. And you just look at the difference in firepower, and you wonder how on earth the CT side is meant to contend. They've managed to, of course, save those 2 rifles, so it looks like they're going to get some kind of a buy off the back of it. Rusty has fully invested, so they're going to try and force it up here. Perhaps aware that their loss bonus, not too pretty, just 2 rounds, not going to get too much cash off of that, so instead going to try and pull off something a little bit miraculous here, to say the least. Era is on 2K, has absolutely nothing to work with. There will be a few rifles. There will be some decent util behind it as well. But compared to what HellRaisers have been able to bring to this round, it's like night and day.
Hopefully back into the action soon. Oh, well, there you go. Starting to worry that maybe we were in for an extra minute or 2, but not going to be the case. Going to go for the scout here. So it's a skeleton buy from GamerLegion for sure. But they're, as we keep reiterating and hammering on home, in a terrible, terrible spot. They need to do something, and maybe a desperate buy is the way in which to do it. Ooh, great little nade. Or not. I'm pretty sure that hit a player. I swear to God it hit Flarich.
Oh, yeah.
And yet it does no damage. I'm so confused. Maybe he escaped around the corner. I think that is the, like, the crater, I guess, that the nades leave. I don't know. They always confuse me. Must have gotten trapped on something. This one should be big, though. There it is. Okay, yeah. So we get the reward a little later on. The fortune comes through later into the round. Molly in from Adam as well, really doing a good job of breaking them apart. Bits of damage does go down a bit easy. Oh my goodness, Problem and Jalen leading the charge so effectively. Yes, they're low, but can the CT side really capitalize? That's a clean headshot from Era. However, it's now he and Rusty in a 4-on-2, and even with the low HP, they're playing it very well, stacked on top of each other, working together as best they possibly can. And even though it is a desperate buy, even though it is, we're going to have to eco the next round, they still want to go for it. I kind of respect it. Bullets coming close. Era going to get surprised by Problem. And Rusty holding on to his trusty M4. So HellRaisers, once again, despite a few hiccups here and there, they're able to cleanly get the round on the board. Not dropping any more than 1 player, I think, is really well done there. So much chunk damage, which is, I think, paramount to a good trained CT side, and yet they're still able to brute force their way onto that B bomb site.
Yeah, for sure. Nade damage really is crucial. I think the real problem there is that so much of that damage is unconfirmed, right? You've got a 4-on-2, you've got Era and Rusty. Era's got Scout, and there's 3 players who are tagged to within a 1-shot. So he's basically got his favored AWP in his hands. Rusty with the rifle should be able to clean things up, but the damage onto both, I think it was Flarich and JR, came from 1 nade from Adam. At most, you're really expecting that to hit 1 player in the face and take him down to 50. So not expecting that second player. He knows he's dinked 1 other, but there's just no confirmation. There's no idea of how much work you've done. And, well, while I'm still talking about the previous round, HR have done the work in this one. One lone frag from Rusty on his M4 is all they really have to show for it on the GamerLegion side of things. HR, they just wander into that A-bomb site, clean as you like, and yeah, I'm just going to keep talking about unconfirmed damage, to be honest. So, GamerLegion do manage to get their buyout. They do manage to get the double AWPs this time onto Mezzi and Era. Again, sacrificing a lot of utility, which, as you said, is so important on your CT side. So it's going to be down to the frags.
Well, here we go. A key turning point here for HellRaisers. If they can win this one, I think they set themselves up for a very good T-side half. It's already pretty good. They've already hit the satisfactory mark. 9 rounds in. Potential for more. Rusty gonna eat 2 nades. Oh my goodness, lucky to be alive. And you know, you have to respect the bravery to stay stood in Pop Dog, because I think he did stick around after that first nade, maybe expecting someone to fall. But unfortunately comes out very worse for wear. Don't quite know it yet, but the T side have got themselves a hefty HP advantage to work with. Zero gonna get something down in Sandwich. Big pickup coming in from Jalen. Meanwhile, Rusty on that low HP is sticking around, but doesn't really want to take the swing. And as soon as he peeks out, Jalen will drop him. Era trades this time around, but a solid advantage for HellRaisers.
It'll be down to these AWPs to really anchor things. And with Era being mollied out of this bomb site, Kalinka aggressive through Ivy. He gets one before he's taken down. And still that man advantage remains. Still, it's 3-on-2. And HR with 30 seconds left, no reason to even commit to this. They're going to bail the bomb out on the back of JR. He'll head down towards that B bomb site. Drops it for his teammate as well, just to make absolutely sure that they don't lose it in the initial conflict. And well, that's going to give him a free plant off the back of it. Problem will dial the digits in JR to provide cover. They've still got Flarich over towards that A-bomb site looking to play the late lurking role. And this setup is so nice for HellRaisers again, because the clock, even though the CT side don't know it, is slowly ticking down for Mezzi and Adam. Flarich is slowly and meticulously clearing his way through connector. And with Mezzi, no idea. Adam, no idea. There's one frag for the AWP, but the trade is immediate. And Mezzi, well, there's no money for the CT side. He's thinking about trying this, but so many angles to clear, so little time. He's going to hunker down in towards CT spawn and hope that maybe, just maybe, he's allowed to keep his big green gun. And again, it's so clean. There's so little utility. There's so little GamerLegion can do about it. Mezzi finds a nice shot to at least keep his hands on that AWP. But that's about all the CT side can say from that one. It's 7-2. HellRaisers 1 round away from a guaranteed lead at the half. And again, you're looking at, well, maybe some upgraded pistols for GamerLegion.
I mean, I suppose it is worth noting it's a bit of a rough map. I was just checking, a bit of a rough map for GamerLegion, statistically speaking, and pretty damn good for HellRaisers. So there is that, but they have really had their work cut out. Mezzi, though, on the AWP, not a weapon that he's foreign to, in fairness. His kind of dying days in Vexed. They moved him onto the AWP to try and revive the team. So see what he can get done here, particularly with, again, that all-important license to do what he wants, essentially. Finds the opener. They have lost the advantage, though. And every man that goes down really going to be dire for the CT side. Their strength at the moment is just the numbers. At the end of the day, they've got that AWP, of course, but no real weaponry. It's not like an overlooked angle could result in a double spray down or something of the sort. So they really need those bodies to be effective.
Molotov clears Era out of the drop as well. The double drop will come in off the back of it. JR goes into the dying flames of his own Molotov. The rifle's there to back him up. Era's going to get peeked from 2 angles at once here. He finds the tag, but just can't quite connect onto that headshot. And as you said, lack of rifles, lack of real firepower. The AWP is hunkered down on this B-bomb site and finds the tag, Mezzi, but I think already they're starting to think about the save. 20 seconds left. The bomb will make its way over towards the A-bomb site. And at this point, those Deagles will go. They will try and see what they can find, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mezzi backing off. Although on Old Bomb, he's going to be able to find a quick headshot to take out Flarich, and it leaves it 3-on-3. I think at this point, really send those Deagles in, see if they can get anything done, see if this one might just be viable. There's no defuse kits. They've really got to get a shift on. Nice shot from Adam, tagging the low HP player. Gets himself an AK as well, and you just start to think maybe this one could work out. Zero's Deagle finds another. They have to get on that bomb, though, and Adam's got to cover the man. Beautifully played by GamerLegion. And finally, something goes their way. I think that defuse is fine. Yeah, that's absolutely golden. They will have their third round on the board. A little bit fortuitous as well. Messi just hanging around Old Bomb a split second longer than I would have liked. Gets him the pick that really gets them back in. And would you look at that? They've even managed to salvage themselves double orbs.
Well, this could be it. This could be it. The half's still salvageable as well, you know? So it could be the turning point. HellRaisers, comfortable on the bye. Definitely going to be shook after that previous round. Sometimes teams, you know, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here. Sometimes teams can struggle against the Deagles and things like that. It's a different change of pace, but Messi on the AWP is having a massive impact. Opener in the previous, opener into this one. Flaric is tagged up as well here, so really solid stuff coming into this round. Zero just walks in and catches Jay off guard. There is a huge shift in the confidence, a newfound confidence, I would say, from GamerLegion coming into this round, and it is really working out for them. Flaric will take down Era. Ooh, fails the smoke. Problem, though, evening things up. Caught with an nade in hand. That's a little rough, so it is still that advantage. The gap closing as well. Flaric can have his head taken clean off. All on to Kalinka in the 1-on-3. They don't know that he's miles away, but all the same, it is going to be hard for him. He's making a lot of noise. No real information to work with. Needs to swing onto this defuser as well, and I think he might have missed his moment, even if Messi misses that shot. There was only about half a second left on the defuse. So GamerLegion, very, very quick, able to pick up the fourth. HellRaisers picking up the pace into that round really doesn't work for them.
Messi doing a fantastic job of secondary duties there. Quick triple kill, holding things off. The opening pick as well to find the man advantage. And as you said, HR, they tried to go very quickly. Doesn't work out at all. Picked off, and I would not be surprised if we see them falling back into a slightly more execute-guided play here. Indeed, nobody out early. Just looking for that opening pick. JR up on top of the pallet. And actually, Flaric, well, he fancies a bit of speed. Traded 1-for-1. Zero does manage to take out JM in response, but he's a little bit isolated towards Olaf. He's got two angles to worry about simultaneously here, and you can see going to drop a little more util than he perhaps would have liked to bail out of that initial angle. JR just lurking with that AWP, trying to cause havoc. Up on top of the pallet. Zero spotted out as well on the jump peak, but nice util usage again. GamerLegion 4-on-4, holding off well, at least initially. Now it's going to be about the game of rotations. Messi locking out Ivy. Era on bomb site towards drop. They've got a very nice hold on A, at least for now. HR really haven't sent too much of a feeler over towards B initially.
It's very true. It does seem like an afterthought here for HellRaisers. It could come back to bite them. Two players already here. Zero pretty close by. I think he is in heaven, so maybe not quite as close as first thought. He is up top. Messi, meanwhile, going to drop that player on the flank. Era with a beautiful no-scope? No, blind, sorry. All the same. Madness from him. The 4-on-2. And GamerLegion have really picked things up here, turned it around towards the tail end of this first half. Is it going to be enough, though, is the real question. HellRaisers, I think we'll probably take a pause, take a bit of time after this one, unless, you know, barring some incredible clutch from Flaric, this round not going to happen. He can't even find a single frag. So really good, really decisive rounds coming in from GamerLegion in the past 2 or 3. Meanwhile, like I say, oh, okay. They're going to buy. I mean, they can with the AKs. It's a lack of utility on some... Well, it's pretty decent, to be fair. I think the issue for me is just take a pause and talk things over before going into this round. Yes, you've got 7. That's really good, but you could have a lot more.
No, yeah, exactly. It feels like the momentum was very definitely starting to swing GamerLegion's way. Why keep playing into it? Why keep playing at pace? Why not just, I mean, take 2 pauses in a row if you want to take a full minute out and just look for that reset, discuss a more execute style of strategy, maybe plan out, you know, exactly how you're going to play this round so you know that you've got the script, you've got the backup plan as well, because in the previous, as we said, it felt like B was a little bit of an afterthought. So maybe you take your break and you go, okay, here's plan A, here's plan B, here's plan C. But instead, They're going to buy, and they're going to try and collapse over towards this B-bomb site. Full util. Adam going to be put under pressure. Era on his favorite AWP. Again, fully blind. Gets himself the first. Can't hit the second, though. And that leaves Adam isolated. He manages to get the one frag. Falls back onto the bomb train. Trying to buy time for the rotation of Zero and Mezzi. And he hears that tap of the bomb as well. Nice pop flash from Mezzi. Not going to be used yet. And that bomb's still yet to go down. Still, Adam lurks on this bomb site, and that buys time. Very quick flank from Rusty. He manages to get one, and his death should be the information that the CT side need indeed. Mezzi immediately rotating to hold this angle down. JR, that's a shot and a half. And 2-on-2. HR have just opened up a bomb plant.
Yeah, that's massive. JR's frag there could be the round deciding kill, to be frank. Zero and Adam grouping up. Looking to move in together, the smart move, but JR hunting for information on the ladder. Beautiful stuff. Drops back to a safe spot at E-Box. It's planted for both these T-side players as well. So I would imagine Defuse comes in, and then, okay, JR gets a bit giddy perhaps. Now it's left all down to Jayla. He does manage to find the first. I think there's just about enough time. Yeah, the 10-second timer hadn't even popped, so it's all good. It's all good. He's got a kit. Easy defuse in the end, and JR's work, unfortunately, all in vain. Zero is left low. The spray transfer nearly clean enough, but not quite. GamerLegion, no, move up to 6. It's okay that they survive with 1 there because they have such a good cushion to work with. Meanwhile, not so much on the HellRaisers side. JR's gone straight in for an AWP buy when hardly anyone can back him up. And now the timeout is taken. I think this may be too little too late. GamerLegion have got the cash and the momentum to seemingly keep going for the rest of the half.
It's been a really nice turnaround from them just to really pull themselves back in. And, you know, we were talking time and time again about how awful that CT economy is, how badly it was being handled, and how everything felt like it was falling apart. The wheels really were coming off the train, so to speak. And now they've built themselves up enough of a bank that if it goes down to the 1v1, they're reinvesting into double AWPs. And you look over at HellRaisers, yes, they've scrambled this buy, but Kalinka's dropping down onto a Galil to get util. There's one flash for problem. JR and Flairich have absolutely nothing. So really, really relying on that firepower that's been missing recently. Finally, problem manages to get himself the opening pick, takes the dink, goes down to 1 HP. But gets out of there with his life and an opening frag to show for it as well. Perfect start for the T side. Well, not quite perfect, but better than the previous couple of rounds to say the least. And with that man advantage now, you can almost use Problem's lack of HP to your advantage, right? Send him in as the bait. He's low HP. Get him jumping around corners and just making a nuisance of himself and have somebody there to trade efficiently. For now, though, HellRaisers are going to slow things down. Double Molotovs in to clear out a main, but not too much presence there at all. IV control and indeed the drop starting to be taken instead by the T side as they look to ramp up that man advantage.
Ooh. More damage being done onto Rusty. GamerLegion need a frag back and soon. Oh, okay, interesting. Interesting. Not quite sure what's happened there. I guess he hears. Was that on purpose, or did they just?
It has to be.
I mean, yeah, it's quite far off the mark, so surely, right? Another tag coming in. That's really smart if it is on purpose. It looks kind of funny in the moment, but then you think Rusty looks away because he thinks there's a flash coming in. Really, really smart stuff. Meanwhile, the rest of the team's just cleaned up here. They've used that advantage. Flairich finds a 3K. HellRaisers straight back in. Nothing too flashy about it, just working the opening pick and playing off of that for the rest of the round. The smart stuff, the flashy stuff, I guess, is that bait and switch, the sensory overload almost onto Rusty. He'll be kind of annoyed that he's being baited out like that. And part of the issue as well, of course, that we always kind of come back to is GamerLegion on this comeback train. If you make a mistake, it's just even better for HellRaisers. It's not like, okay, we've evened it back up, guys. Now's our chance to take the lead. It's like, no, we've now solidified the lead in this first half, and we've got 8 rounds on the less favorable side of train. So they're super, super happy. Even if they lose this one, it's a great half for them.
It does make you wonder how long it's going to be before the economy really starts to swing the meta on these sort of maps. This is the second one we've had tonight where T-sides have had a blinder of a start and have managed to get themselves a guaranteed half lead. Admittedly, this one balances itself out a little bit better. Some heroics from GamerLegion have brought them back into the game, but 8 to 6 half, you know, stereotypically, you're looking at Train and going 8, 9 rounds on the T side. That's incredible. They must have done something so well, but it really has been the economy that's betrayed the CT side. Wrap towards the back lane, looking to come through. Mezzi able to get one before he's taken down and overwhelmed, and he's got back up here as well. The leg from Era, not quite enough, but surely there we go. The MP9 of Zero, he deserved both. Kalinka will steal one away from him. And problem, well, he's going to get caught out. Adam inside of the smoke manages to make it the narrowest of leads for the CIS roster, 8 to 7. As we go into the halftime break. And I think if GamerLegion can take the pistol and sort of have a similar start to HellRaisers, then we've got a real game on our hands.
Yeah, I believe so. And I think their T side kind of honestly works a little better on the GamerLegion side of things, where they can play that loose, fast, individually based style. It's hard on a map like Train, but you never know. They might just be able to find that weak point on the HellRaisers defense and keep attacking, keep on attacking. That's kind of where I see this one going for GamerLegion. Particularly, like I say, classically, it's not a great map for them, and generally speaking, it's more the T sides where teams that are not good on Train struggle. However, they have just struggled on the CT side, so maybe we're in for a quick finish. That's kind of the thing for me. It's going to be a struggle, you know, key important clutches, big rounds, mistakes from HellRaisers, or HellRaisers are going to roll them here. I don't quite see GamerLegion taking it super one-sided in the second half, to be honest with you. So we'll see. We'll see, of course. Yeah. We had a few players drop out, just making sure, I guess, everything's cool and comfortable. Maybe a bit of loss, maybe some frame issues. You know, it is Counter-Strike after all. There sometimes can be some unanswerable issues. To be honest, I was having like a sound bug the other day. Only for the one game. And I left and rejoined and it was fine. But maybe it was just placebo and now I was blaming my poor performance on the sound, you know.
It's part of the charm, isn't it? Part of the appeal of CS is those random FPS dips where you'll have no idea what's caused it, and suddenly for 20, 30 seconds you're down to 10 FPS and then it comes back again. Just makes you realize how much worse you could have it. That's what it is. It's all intentional. Valve know exactly what they're doing, of course, but yeah, I think all of your points about GamerLegion, very, very valid. They win. I mean, looking at the stats, pretty much 61% of their Train rounds are won CT side. So you're looking at this and you're going, this could be very awkward, as we are going to get right back into it. I think the pistol round feels pretty essential. They need this one. They need the early start to take the lead their way for the, second time since the first half pistol. And then from there, maybe they can start to build up some momentum. Maybe some mistakes start to sneak in from HR. We'll have to wait and see, as it's going to be fairly execute heavy from GamerLegion. 2 smokes, flash and a Molotov behind it as well. Looks like they want to try and head over towards that B-bomb site early. Fast rotations, though. 3 players in close proximity for the CT side and a shooting range for JR. He's got the first before he takes the dink and falls off. And problem is still lurking around the back of the B-bomb site. Still trying to hold on and buy time. 5-on-4 retake required for the CT side, but they've got the defuse kit and they've got the nade to try and make it happen.
These deep smokes are massive from GamerLegion. Really buys them a lot of time, allows them to even just have the illusion of aggression. Rusty is indeed getting aggressive. Flash comes in. It's kind of ineffective. 1-for-1. Pretty big for HellRaisers to hold on to their lead still. Ooh, Era finds his frag. JR, meanwhile, is on the reposition. Just distracting at the moment. There is a kit available for Flarich, but no real smoke to work with. Ooh, an Era with a perfectly timed peek. That P250 doing work. Massive 3K from him to turn that round in favor of GamerLegion. And they will indeed find the pistol. Like you said, now it appears we might just have a game on our hands as HellRaisers taste of their own medicine, maybe, perhaps, right? Keeping that CT economy under the cosh is now definitely possible for GamerLegion.
Fingers crossed for it. You'd hope that maybe we can have a competitive game of Train, not another speed run on our hands. And I think, yeah, exactly. If this round goes south, if the CT's economy is broken, then maybe there's a world where GamerLegion can take this one to the wire. They've got a good buy coming into this. No AK-47s, but 3 Galils, couple of MAC-10s for Rusty and Mezzy to try and farm the cash. And as long as they don't walk into a heavy stack, then they should be okay. That's a nade and a half. That's going to chip away at 3 players and start to put them into that vulnerable range. 2 MP9s up close, running up the B ramp is problem. He'll get the first before the trade. JM gets one of his own, and out of nowhere, this has become very awkward. JM gets a second on the upper railing. Era finally able to deal with him, but already a 3v1. Kalinka trades it out, and Mezzy, well, we've been hyping him up. We've been talking about the big Cloud9 man for a while. He's got himself the first 1v2 to contend with. JR tagged low, but he's only on a recovered MP9, and Bomb is right in the middle of that by B bomb site.
Yeah, in the proverbial no man's land, he has to cross and deal with this nasty machine gun that Kalinka's got. Okay, there you go. Patience pays off, and now it looks a bit more doable. JR, one shot could change everything. If he lands it, money. If he misses, it's probably the round. He's actually on the pistol, though. Not fancying his chances on that scout. Oh, and Mezzy flicks down to take him out. The Cloud9 prodigy. There he is. It's not the flashiest, but he isolates those 1v1s. He stays cool. He stays calm, particularly against that Galil, right? Not just holding mouse one the entire time. And that newfound confidence that we've talked about definitely coming into play there. I think he was chilling the whole way through that 1-on-3.
Because UK players are so known for being really chill in clutch situations. But, nah, yeah, really clean, really nicely done. As you said, it's not flashy, but you got to get the job done sometimes. And a 1v3 with an MP9, it's not to be sniffed at all. Put the CT side in a pretty awkward spot as well. Of course, with the kill bonuses, they're able to get more upgrades than you traditionally see on this kind of a CT eco. There's 4 Deagles. Just Flarich without. Era, though, going to open things up onto JM. He was trying to get aggressive with that Deag, trying to maybe catch someone with a nade out in a main. Instead, he gets his head ripped off, and off the back of it, GamerLegion are just going to storm into this A-bomb site. 3 players here for the CT side, so potentially some damage for these Deagles to inflict at range. And indeed, Kalinka does connect onto the head of one, but the nades, the MP9s, they combine absolutely perfectly. And Flarich, last man on the server, the only man without a Deagle, stuck towards the back of old Bomb. And Rusty, well, he wants a kill of his own on that, and MAC-10 even. He'll find it. He'll build up a little bit more bank for himself. He'll get double digits for his team. And, well, now, just maybe, we've got a game on our hands.
It's getting pretty interesting. This round really going to turn the tides, I think. GamerLegion can take it, and like I say, keep that CT economy weak. Could just keep brute forcing their way into rounds, dealing with lower utility buys. This one's pretty damn good in that sense, and I would like to see some of that effective utility that we've talked about that is needed on the CT end. It's a nice idea with the nade. It does land onto Rusty, I suppose. Turns these M4s into one-tap machines for one member of GamerLegion. Nothing else landing just yet, however. 3 players on the B-bomb site, though. That's a pretty big read. It does appear GamerLegion are going to end up on B. The bomb stacked up outside there. You know, lineup of players with the one watching behind. Everything points towards B. So having 3 not only here, but also deep into the site itself could be absolutely massive. Molly's come over the top, smoke onto the enemy Molly to break through. Problem finds one. These players are going to have to strike. This stack needs to pay off, and it does. Zero's the only one to have found a frag so far. Mezzy joining his buddy in the form of Era. But there's so much work to do. The smoke from Jalem is beautiful. And the final frag comes easy. HellRaisers doing a great job there of getting that 9th round. Once again, incredibly important for them. They get it on the board. A minimum of 3. It's probably couldn't get much better than that. I suppose surviving with everybody, but you cannot ask for everything.
Not too often you see a 3-man stack on rifle buys over towards that B-bomb site, but they managed to make it work. A really nice read of GamerLegion's play, and, well, it pays off in spades. They managed to get their round at the gap just down to 1, and now GamerLegion Really looking to up the pace a little bit. A Deagle and a Tech-9 surrounding these AKs. Rusty, he's managed to make his way out to sandwich early on, but he's getting shot from so many angles at once. JM can see his feet, and we'll deal with the first man out. The team just a little bit slow in drawing those support lines, but now they've managed to get Zero, top of blue. Knows where the first player is, but there's so many angles for him to cover, and Flairich will take advantage. Looking the wrong way at the wrong time. Zero goes out, and with just one rifle remaining at this point, it really needs something spectacular. Mezzi hits the first, but goes down desperately low, and JM will take advantage again. A triple in the round. Problem finds the finale. And HellRaisers, they draw level at 10 apiece, again, making it look very, very smooth on the CT side of things. And, well, Problem's looking to rub salt in the wounds. There's a P90 on the server.
Oh. That is nasty. That is a bit nasty. It is wildly such a BM weapon. Like, I'm just gonna, you know, in the sense that it's like there are better SMGs that are cheaper that give the kill bonus. You know, it's a funny weapon for sure. I suppose the high fire rate, to be fair, is probably going to tear through these unarmored opponents. Maybe that's part of the logic, but it looks like a misbuy or a goofy kind of play from Problem to me. Ooh. Okay, Mezzi in with the Deke. Now finding the frags here on that CT side. Just got to be careful he doesn't hold the mouse one and get taken down by the re-peeking Deagles. Not going to be the case. Flarich picks up where he left off. Really well done there to just trade positions. All going to be on to Rusty in the 1-on-4. Not expecting too much. He's now spotted as well. So goes to the wide swing. Nothing happening. One kill. You know, nice little 1D kill bonus for Mezzi and everything, but ultimately, HellRaisers, very, very clean stuff, moving up to 11.
And this is where it starts to get a little bit nervy for GamerLegion as well. That CT side, they've built themselves up that cushion of cash that we always talk about. GamerLegion are fully invested into this one. The 5 AKs, the util behind it, it has emptied the bank. Yes, they do have a 3-round loss bonus, but it's not going to be pretty if this one goes south. HellRaisers will have a real opportunity to just shut out these remaining few rounds. So this one has to go well for GamerLegion. Nice Molotov and nade combination onto Zero early. Still finds the pick, but Mezzi caught off guard. Blinded by JR is found by Kalinka in response. And that's Ivy control completely lost. You can see the T side scrambling to recover. Adam trying to clear his way into B. Has no idea there's a P90 lying in wait on the spools. And now a man down, Zero on just 19 HP. Somebody needs to step up for GamerLegion. Rusty gonna catch a timing, but there's a dink off the back of it. Yes, they're level at 3 apiece, but 2 players are so low on HP. And finally, Problem's going to get himself on an AK-47.
Getting greedy for it as well. Rusty is by himself. Trade comes in. I mean, it's a good job he found a frag. Meanwhile, JR in such a good spot here. Zero looks set to come his way. Because maybe, falsely, they think the A-bomb site is clear. I don't know. Does seem like he's weary. Creeping in, straight into the crosshair. Easiest frag of JR's life. Oh, and looking away at the wrong time. Era will be dropped. 12th round for HellRaisers. Again, it comes close, but these rifle rounds are comprehensive from them. Dictating the pace, finding early pickups, and winning out clutch situations. GamerLegion now down and out. Not enough cash. They needed a bomb plant there to do anything substantial. So just a half buy coming into this one. HellRaisers setting themselves up brilliantly to take the victory.
That round felt important. With it, they're down to the Deagles, GamerLegion, and HR. They are looking to take advantage. Problem again, aggressive. This time with an AK-47. He gets the first. JR very swift for the second. Deagle recovered by Era. Will be able to find the AWPer in response, though. So some damage done at the very least. Mezzi goes down to 4 HP with the nade, though. And this round should be done and dusted, at least for the T side. Maybe an extra frag somewhere available, but with Mezzi so low on HP, with no rifles yet recovered, feels like there shouldn't be too much more they can do. Problem going to make absolutely sure that AWP isn't picked up as well. And unless Era can catch a timing out B, Mezzi's surely not going to expect this angle. He's low on HP. He'll go down to Kalinka. And the 2 remaining Deagles, they'll just look to try and find some damage.
Yeah, as I always say in rounds like this, I think it is any damage is good damage, but only the 1 frag for their investment there. It really doesn't make too much of a difference. No situation in that round arose where we'd say, ooh, maybe they should actually win this. So, just kind of goes as expected.
Yeah.
If anything, slightly better for HellRaisers. Only dropping one player is really well done from them. The AWP out here for Era. See what he can get done with it. Mezzi turned things around when he picked it up on the CT side, and Era looks to do the same on the TN. JR the first to fall, not expecting the AWP clearly. Swings straight into that angle. No flash, no support. And a free frag for GamerLegion in the first 10 seconds of the round.
HellRaisers looking for a response, and they've got it. They've cleared out B entirely. They know that this isn't going to be the B bomb site. Ivy looks like it's going to be the main point of aggression, though, and there might well be a ring of roses about to occur for this T side. They've got 3 players over at Ivy. The CT side have got full horse control at this point, but both the remaining players are currently looking over towards main as well. This isn't a typical round on train, let's put it that way. Problem, perhaps, smelling a rat has just dropped the perfect Molotov with 50 seconds left on the clock. Stalling 3/4 of this GamerLegion offensive, and that's a beautiful shot from Era. Fully blind, he takes out JM. They know the game is up, though. They've seen that bomb, and Rusty, he's got to go big now. They've read his position beautifully. Kalinka will find that frag, and now all their presence here, all pivots on Ivy. Through the smoke goes Problem for the triple. The spray down, all the headshots, 14-10. And it looked so awkward. It looked so disjointed, but somehow HR, they make it look absolutely flawless.
It's a great individual play, don't get me wrong, but GamerLegion will be kicking themselves. They could not convert that one. At least to start with, it's best case scenario. And they let it slip. Pause coming in. They don't have the cash. Yep, half buy is all they can go for, and playing for overtime is the name of the game now. 5 in a row, in theory, going to be required, unless they do manage to pick this one up. Not necessarily a miracle required. Certainly not impossible. Just a few mistakes from HellRaisers and some nice individual moments from GamerLegion need to come together, and perhaps they could pick it up. But more likely than not, 80-20, I would say. If you're looking for a ratio, it's going to go the way of HellRaisers. But we'll see. You never know. Ooh, the headshot doesn't finish off JR. That is massive. Mezzi falls early on. And I'm sure JR is counting his lucky stars he's still alive.
Absolutely. That was a lovely shot from Mezzi. It's a shame he can't convert, but these kind of rounds, they never seem to favor the force buying side. There's Deagles, sure, there's a tech, there's a scout, but as FlRH finds the second, without the numbers behind them, they're going to really struggle to be effective. Adam takes that nade to the face, down to 50 HP. The timing not quite right for Zero. And then there were 2, Adam and Rusty. Well, make it 1, make it 0. Clean as you like. Just the 1 frag onto FlRH. Mezzi, unfortunate not to get more onto the AWP of JR. But regardless of what happened, it's 15-10. And GamerLegion, they need 5 on the trot. They've been struggling to even register on the rifle buys. They now need 5 unopposed to take us to OT.
Well, here we go. Comeback train. Not quite left the station yet. The first movement from GamerLegion is required. Oh, Problem. That's a chef's kiss moment, that is. Zero manages to get a wallbang onto Kalinka, though, so very quickly nullified. And back into the 4-on-4. It essentially comes to a standstill, and it feels like the round may as well have started a 4-on-4, how quickly those frags came in. See how GamerLegion approach things from here on out. Again, looks like the B-bomb site, and HellRaisers are putting the vast majority of their chips into this B site. See where they fall, see how it pans out. I mean, in theory, should be solid for them, because GamerLegion are not showing any signs of moving away from B, but whether they land the shots or not is the main question. Just the 1 flash? It is indeed. Bursting into the site here. Straight through the Molotov. Zero gonna burn. Frags coming in for FlRH. as he will get a couple all onto Era in the 1-on-2. The bomb is down for the CT side. Era does drop JR. Is he ready for this player next to him? He is. The no-scope lands, and Era keeps GamerLegion alive.
They needed that. They really needed that. And HR, they seem so confident in their A retake, right? How many times have we seen them put 3 players down on that B bomb site? That is not normal. To have 3 players that aggressive on the B bomb site as well, not even looking like con rotates, back lane rotates, just straight posted. And it very nearly works again. A little bit of magic. This Era once again showing why he is one of the stars of the show for GamerLegion, getting himself the 2v1, the no scope to finish the job. But this was always going to be the problem for GamerLegion. It's gone down to a 2v1. Era has clutched it out. Regardless, HellRaisers have still got double orbs. JR and Kalinka are still able to bring them out. The money still good for this one and possibly the one after it as well. That loss bonus might just prop up the remaining players if there's a couple of saves. So it's not going to get any easier for a while. GamerLegion are going to need to keep this momentum, keep pulling off those big plays, and then maybe, just maybe, they can start to dream a dream of overtime. And again, lots of presence into the halls early on. Again, looking like they're almost immediately posturing over towards this B-bomb site.
Seems to be a confident zone for them. Going for the same again. Just the one flash bursting in. This time the B-bomb site is a bit more vulnerable. So they beat it when it was super strong. And I think they're forcing an immediate save with that one frag, it looks like. Yeah. I think that's the case. JR hanging about because that's what he loves to do. He likes taking fights, loves a good scrap. But the rest of the team, miles away from the action, going to give GamerLegion the 12th, hold on to as much cash as they possibly can. I do like that from HellRaisers, sorry. As you said, there's a fair amount of pressure on them. If they lose this round particularly, right, they would maybe fiddle the numbers and pull something out, but it wouldn't be ideal. So the safest, least resistant path, I feel, is the wisest at this point. GamerLegion, though, I feel a bit confident if it's that easy. Just the one kill. HellRaisers, I feel, need to change something up. The double up setup, yes, cool, but it needs to be put into action.
We'll have to see if they can make it work. As you said, that 4-man save really is crucial because not only does it allow them to keep cash on 4 of those players, reinvest into the util, it knocks them up to a 2-round loss bonus as well, which on top of what they've got left in the bank, they can probably get another buy after this one as well. So keeping themselves on the rifles, the CT side, but they're going to need to try and find this round sooner rather than later. GamerLegion just starting to scrap their way back into it. They're a team that never really seems to be fully out of the fight. Always willing to find one more scrap and try and drag themselves back into the game. I think, as you said, JR and Kalinka really got to be the players to show up as, again, Problem and JR, actually, this time, taking free control of the halls, at least initially, posting the AWPer up. 2 players going to peek into his crosshairs, though. A lot of issues to deal with. Nice shot. Goes down to 19, but still finds the opening pick for his team. And now 5-on-4. Now the pressure pivots. It's back onto GamerLegion to try and find this conversion in a very similar fashion to their previous. 3 men on the Ivy take. 1 just lurking in towards the drop, trying to bait Flarewich's shot and util out. They were actually going to get Ivy control relatively freely here, the GamerLegion side of things.
That is interesting. HellRaisers, at the very least, need to be aware of that fact. First frag comes in for Mezzy, catching them off guard. Kalinka on the AWP, looking solid. However, smoking out T-Con, going for another. And now the double up setup is coming into action. 3-on-2, not completely out of the question for GamerLegion. Rusty falls, though, and it starts to become a bit harder. All on to Error. He's clutched it up before, but JR gets the drop on him, and they will indeed secure it in the end.